Are you someone who is currently experiencing IBS or irritable bowel syndrome? Experiencing bloating, cramping, diarrhea, constipation can all be really distressing and can significantly affect the quality of your life. But there are things that you can do to help relieve these symptoms. And deep breathing is one technique that can help to decrease the severity of IBS symptoms and help eliminate that awful pain and discomfort. And the good news is that it's something that you can easily do at home or at work. You can even do it in the car. So in this video, we'll uncover the power of deep belly breathing for managing IBS symptoms and how to do it to get the most benefit. So take a deep breath and let's dive in. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jane, and as a psychotherapist and gut-directed hypnotherapist, I've been working with IBS clients for over 5 years. I've personally seen the significant improvements when my clients learn how to breathe in a different way. So why is the breath so important when it comes to IBS? And why can changing how you breathe make such a difference to your symptoms? Well, this requires us to look at two main factors: your nervous system and stress. Because when it comes to stress, it can make your GI symptoms worse for very straightforward biological reasons. And this comes down to your nervous system. Because when you're stressed, your parasympathetic nervous system, also known as your rest and digest mode, gets really quiet. And your sympathetic nervous system goes into overdrive and it gets really loud. This is also known as your stress response. In addition, your endocrine system releases lots of stress hormones, and your enteric nervous system, which is your gut's very own nervous system, reacts to all of these signals and sends pain signals up to your brain that get amplified, and you start to focus your attention more on that discomfort, which leads to an increase in symptoms. And for a more in-depth look at the relationship between stress and IBS, you can check out this video or this video, and I'll also link to both of these videos down below. Okay, so if we know that your sympathetic nervous system, so your fight or flight response, can make IBS symptoms worse, then the question becomes, how do we turn this off? How do we switch off your body's reaction to stress and turn on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that allows you to rest and digest in peace? Well, there are various ways that we can do this, including mindful body exercises, use of relaxing imagery such as in meditation and hypnosis, and using deep breathing, which is what we're going to focus on in this video. But why? Because when done correctly, deep breathing, also known as diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing, can turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. This means that you get to consciously control your body's response to stress with your breath. In fact, in this technique I'm going to walk you through, not only can it bring relief to IBS symptoms, but it can also lower your blood pressure and even your heart rate. So here is how you do it. Now, have you ever been told to just take a deep breath? It sounds super simple and on the surface is good advice, but taking a deep breath just doesn't work very well for a lot of people. And that's because most people tend to be what we call chest breathers. That's when your shoulders start to go up and down when you breathe and your chest expands. It's what most people do when you ask them to take a deep breath. In fact, I want you to try this right now. Wherever you are watching this, just take a moment. You can even pause this video and take a deep breath. What do you notice? Did your chest start to rise? Do your shoulders start to move upwards towards your ears? Do you notice that your neck starts to tighten? You see, taking a deep breath like this will not help you relax. In fact, it'll probably make you even more tense. And that's because chest breathing, the shallow chest breathing that we do, switches on your stress response, which is definitely not what we want. What we want is to belly breathe. And this involves breathing deeply into your abdomen or belly area, engaging your diaphragm, which is the muscle in your belly, to promote a full and relaxed breath. So the idea here is to relax the belly as much as possible. And as the breath comes in, the belly expands slightly on its own in an outward direction as the diaphragm pushes down. And then when you exhale, you'll let the belly naturally move inwards and fall. This movement allows the lungs to fill with a little more air, which means a little more air is also expelled in the out-breath, so that overall the full cycle of breath will be slower and deeper. This type of breathing can also activate your vagus nerve and has also been shown to decrease your sensitivity to pain and help to normalize gut motility, which is the speed at which food is moving through your bowel. So let's go through this technique together. So find a comfortable position. You can either sit or lie down on your back, whatever works for you in this moment. Now, to make sure that you're breathing down in your belly and engaging your diaphragm, I recommend placing one hand somewhere just above your belly button and one hand on your chest. You might also want to place both hands on your belly just so you've got some feedback. Now, when you breathe in, you're going to focus on your hand or hands on your belly, moving outwards as your belly rises. Your aim is to keep the chest and those shoulders relatively still. Then you'll briefly hold your breath and then you'll let that breath go. Feeling your hand this time moving inwards as your belly falls. You can also try engaging your stomach muscles to push air out at the end of that breath. And then take another breath in. Focus on drawing the breath down into the lungs and the belly, keeping the chest and the shoulders relatively still. And then imagining that you're inflating a balloon inside of your belly on that inhale. And then briefly hold that breath and then exhale. Imagine that you are deflating that balloon as your belly moves in an inward direction. And then you can continue this deep belly breathing, noticing the feel of the breath flowing in and out of the body as your belly rises and falls. Now, do your best to keep your attention on your breath here, and it can be really helpful to add a count to this exercise where you breathe in for a count of 4, briefly hold, and then out for a count of 6. And I recommend that you practice this exercise for about 5 minutes each day, especially when you notice IBS or gut symptoms. It's also a great technique to use before you go into any stressful situation to quickly de-stress. You can do this at your desk, you can do this in the car, and you can also do this on public transport if you need. And if 5 minutes just feels too much to start, then even taking 5 to 10 belly breaths will really help to support your body and lower those internal stress levels. So try this out and let me know down in the comments of your experiences with belly breathing. Does it help? And also let me know what questions you might have when you try out this exercise. Now, this is just one of the breathing exercises that is included within the Calm Gut app, and you can learn more about the app just by clicking the links in the description below. And of course, if you want more information on working with me directly, then I'll include a link to the Calm Gut program. So as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the weekly videos that I post, and I will see you next time.